Corporations must play a role in capitalism, but it is up to business to take the lead. That's according to Harvard Business School professor Joe Bauer, co-author of the upcoming book, Capitalism at Risk. And he joins me here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. You've been looking very carefully at the role that business essentially should play in determining its own fate. In the crisis, government saved capitalism.
Right.
What should corporations be doing to save themselves right now?
Great question. So basically, companies live in a world that's not nanoseconds. We're here in a nanosecond world. And they need to deal with very fundamental problems. We think that the way capitalism is working, averages are getting better. There's average growth is good, average incomes are going up, but what's happening is, in a number of ways, there are gaps developing. So Occupation Wall Street is right now, but when we talk to business leaders before the crisis, 2007, they said, look, in China, in other places, there's a growing gap between the rich and the poor, and the huge dissatisfaction. So we see Venezuela. Mexico is right on our border, and it's not clear how the next election will go. We saw riots in the streets of London.
Right.
So there's a sense that people are really unhappy. They don't think that the system's working for them.
Right. Well, when you were referencing China there, you're talking about a government who's had a very direct role in shaping capitalism.
That's
and the
correct.
amount that they're comfortable with it.
And in fact, one of the problems is that China, in solving its own problems, is actually creating problems for others. So they have a huge problem in developing the economy so hundreds of millions can get employment.
Yeah.
But they're not playing by the same set of rules that other nations play by.
Well, what should corporations be doing right now to be creating job growth?
Let's take the United States. A lot of the companies I talk to say we can't hire people. They're not trained well enough. Well, if they wait until our school systems get fixed, they're not going to have customers. So they better go back to training people. They used to do that.
But they train those people, just not in the United States.
Right, but now they need to train them here. I mean, it's a serious thing. People, and we're not asking them for charity. Businesses, in their own interest, need to employ Americans.
But how do you get them to do just that when they look at they are in the nanosecond world, in that if they're a publicly traded company, they have to respond to the marketplace.
They have to respond in part, but in fact, they don't have to. I sit on boards. I'll tell you the truth. Wall Street, you have to pay attention to Wall Street. You have to tell the truth to Wall Street, but you don't have to run your company for Wall Street. You can run your company for the longer term, and frankly, there are investors there, and they'll stay with you.
Well, it's an interesting read, Capitalism at Risk. Thank you very much, Professor, for coming down here.